Hello Yella, editing Didi here. So turns out my first 20 minutes are blurry. I cannot re-record them, guys. I have no strength. So please just listen. You don't need to watch. Just listen. I beg. Okay. Mwah. Bye.
Well, hello, hi, it is me, it is I, Small Town Didi, your Khadi on the internet, and I am back. We're back, you guys. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm sorry I'm late with the review. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let your people know about me. Get your friends to follow me. Let's grow this channel. We're down here to talk about the Real Housewives of Durban, episode 4. Yes, I'm late. Like, I'm so late. It's Sunday that I'm finally getting to sit down and have this chat. I couldn't get it out to you guys on time because I had work to do and ESCOM was not making my life easy. Coffee in hand, it's bright and early. If you guys can hear the music, that's just life in the ghetto. You probably like, why does she mean it's early? It's early. It's not even noon. Like, you know, it's like mid-morning. What is it, 10 o'clock or something? Anyway, let's get into it. We start off where we left off in the last episode, and that is at Nonku's party. She's having a party to celebrate her year of celibacy, and she's not going to continue in the journey because Oscar is in the building, is what I'm calling her man. She keeps trying to call him by his initials. It legit sounds like her trying to make fetch happen. It's like, nobody's calling Skara this, babe. I forget his name. Dumi, I think. They call him Dumi or something. But she, like, Nonku, stop trying to make fetch happen, my love. It's not happening. They go out onto the beach. They set some doves free. It doesn't end up what it was supposed to do. She says in her confessional that she thought the doves were gonna end like in a circle. Like, that's what she was informed they would do. I'm like, yeah, you were lied to. You're always getting lied to. Oscara, by the way, just is giving off all the scam energy. Not saying he's a scam. I'm saying he's giving off scam energy. So anyway, they do that. Her mom comes out. Nonku's mom is a beautiful woman. I hate having her on the show. Like all of this, oh, the queen and the queen. And I see they're doing it as well on the Real Housewives of Abuja, which I still need to sit down and record. I'll probably do episode 1 and 2 in one video. But God, it's draining. Guys, your moms don't need to be. I don't want us to be in a social group of peers and we're going to be talking our talk and like just being reckless with this mouth and doing whatever. In this situation where granted it's her own thing, but every time we come to your thing where we're thinking it's just the girls, your mom has to come here and I have to watch everything I say because there's an elder at the table. Where are her friends? Where are her friends? These relationships where you guys are like, where you never detach from your mom, like you're always suckling on their tits and it's like, my mom is my best friend. I know you think it's cute, but it's really not the healthiest thing. It's weird as fuck. Like, it's honestly weird. Like, I'm close to my mom. That lady is not my friend. Like, you aren't coming out to dinner with me and a large group of my friends. If we're dinner and I'm like, oh, my best friend is going to join us, that's okay. This one, like, I don't like it. I don't like it. For me, she adds nothing to the show. She's always about to do some cringe shit anyway. Why is she here? She adds nothing. She adds nothing. Oh, the queen. And everybody's a liar and pretentious about how they really feel about her being there. Oh, I love the queen. I love that. You don't love her. You find her an energy sucker. She's a fucking vampire. And she taught that shit to her daughter who also sucks the energy out of a room. Anyway. Sarisha, oh my god. We actually didn't see Sarisha tell Nonku that she's gonna leave in the last episode. So let's just like rewind a little bit before we got to the part of the beach with the doves that didn't end up properly. Sarisha calls Nonku outside, which was lovely for her to do and not just leave. Not even lovely, just the decent thing to do, like have manners. The person's invited you here. Calls her outside, informs her, I can't be here. I don't want to be around Sane. Like, I don't want. And then she's like, but I thought she was your friend. She's like, no, I'd extended an invitation. And for her to come to the event where she caused all that havoc and that left a sour taste in my mouth. And remember, Sarisha was just with Annie a couple of scenes back. where they were reading articles, really trying to get to the bottom of who is this person that they're filming with. So she's like, I don't want to be around her. Like, I do not want to be around her. Nonku then says in a confessional that I feel like this communicates to me where Sarisha has placed our friendship. I hate to be this person, but my mental health and my sanity will always come above you. It will always come above our so-called friendship. If you care about like my discomfort or whatever, if I'm your friend, I can still link up with you, just you, and celebrate your celibacy or whatever it is that was being celebrated. I can extend something to you personally outside of this. I do not, however, have to force myself to sit through this fucking lunch and whatever and be uncomfortable, stank up the place, ruin the vibe and the mood because I'm so off, and have everybody faffing and fussing over me, asking, are you okay? Are you okay? When I could have just like left and extended an invitation for us to do something another time. It has nothing to do with where I put you or where I value you. It has everything to do with how much I value my peace. And that will always rise above fucking everything. That's me. So I understand Sarisha being like, I'm not trying to be associated with this woman. I do not want pictures of me out there being seen with this woman. You want to be around her and you don't even know her, right? Because again, the sense of discernment is zero. I didn't understand why her and Jojo, one of you guys, the people who are engaging with the content I'm posting around the Real Housewives of Durban are my people. You guys kill me. One of you left a comment saying that, I can't remember what I was saying in the last video, but you're like, you said on Twitter that you feel like Jojo and Nonku, it's giving like Arrested Development. And those are the exact words I was looking for, and I was not finding them in the last video. So I appreciate you, I love you so much. And you're like the Twitter people thought you, no. These two bitches stopped growing. And not bitches in a derogatory, I just speak like this sometimes. I don't want everybody to think just because Nonku is my least favorite, I'm calling her out of her name, like, to be whatever. These two ladies just aren't it. Like, they're not it. This is still our first point and I'm still on it. So let's go. They release the doves. Nonku's mom shows up. Oh yes, as they're sitting at the table, Nonku's man who broke the celibacy, the language we use around sex is so charged. Things that break. Anyway, he shows up looking ever the sleaze, ever the dodgeball. Just, I don't get it, you guys. I do not get it. Slee is at this event, by the way. Everybody's at the event except for Sarisha, and Sarisha who left. And Annie, who obviously wasn't invited. Her and Nonku aren't like best of bombers like that. He arrives, she introduces him, again tries to make everybody use his initials. The mom is already calling him my son. Do you see where Nonku gets this? How is your mom already giving this man these titles and these platforms? What's he done to earn these? It's interesting to me because in previous seasons we learned that Nonku's mom had not the best relationship with her dad, and so when she spoke about that relationship in past seasons, you would think there's some growth here where you're now a grown woman who knows how to proceed with caution. But you know, he allegedly bought her that car. Have we seen her drive the car, guys? I would assume we would be seeing, unless I'm not paying attention, and I might not be paying attention. I feel like we should be seeing her in every scene driving that car so that we can know that it's still there. You know, Monewas isn't anymore. Oh, so this is love. I love it here. We're still at Nonku's thing. She then asks, what's her name? Sane. What happened between you and Sarisha? Because Sarisha left said it's because of you. You know, Sane, ever the gaslighter, just ever the, you know, gaslighting. I feel like manipulators and like narcissists and people who these, like, you know, these terms we've become accustomed to using and sometimes inappropriately. But I feel like people who engage in that behavior are generally very bright people, because they need to learn and study behavior in order for their manipulation to take. Sane isn't even that. She's no tact about her. She'll just deny something, right? She won't even. It is gaslighting in that it makes you question your reality. I get that, but it's not. There's no tact. I don't know what other word to use, but there's just. Sane will move this pen here and move it away and say, no, I didn't. Like, she won't even try to dress it up in anything. So she's like, no, why would I know why she left? Like, I don't know why she left. Like, why would I know why she left? Isn't she your friend? How come you let her go? But the whole time, you stayed to sit there and press your phone. They get into a back and forth, and then Sane's like, no, she probably left because Annie's her best friend. So now you do know why she probably left. At this point, Slee excuses herself, says she does not want to engage in this, like, whatever this is. And Jojo says in her confessional, I stayed because I'm here for no blah, whatever, bye. Anyway, Slee leaves and they do their back and forth, and then Sane gets a Bible verse about peace, reads it to them before she parts at them. I'm like, oof. One thing we will do is weaponize that book, right? One thing we will do is weaponize the Bible, and you cannot stop us. She excuses herself, and that's pretty much the end of this scene. We enter the next scene, and he's talking to her husband. Do you guys know what I find disturbing? And it's not my home, so I don't need to find it disturbing. That very large painting, that large portrait of her husband in the house, Annie's house, the guru, her man, what do they call him, the mayor, whatever. There's this huge ass painting of him when you walk into their home, of just him. Of just him. They couldn't paint the family portrait and have it up there? Like, there's something about it that's just like, oh, okay, to each his own, I guess. But like, not, you know, like a flamboyant dude, but it's not for, like, this is Annie's man. I don't need to like anything about him. But guys, honestly, please get a family portrait up there. That shit is weird and cringe as fuck. It's I'm sorry. Like, I can't get behind it. They sat on the couch, and Annie's talking about her eye and how she had a chat with Jojo about how doctors could possibly do something to just lift her brow a bit, and that will probably help to give her face some symmetry, if you'd like, I don't know. And then he speaks life into her, which is what a husband is supposed to do, that she's still beautiful to him, and that if it bothers her, it's fine. Something will be done about it then, but first he let her know that he still just sees her the way she is and stuff, and that's important. You want to be partnered with a person who speaks life into you. Anyway, next, this review is just going to be too long for no reason. These notes are too short for me to do this. Mbali and Nonku go over to Slee's. I like Mbali seems to be finding her way around these women with ease, and it's probably because you come from the same culture. You guys tend to communicate in a similar fashion, but I like how she finds herself, and she does well in smaller settings. I don't know if anybody has like picked up on that. We're only a few episodes in, but she did so well at Maria's house when it was just her, Nonku, and Jojo and Maria, obviously. And in the scene, she has a voice. She finds it in the larger group settings. I feel like she disappears. Like at Sarisha's event, she kind of disappeared. At Jojo's event, it was her first encounter with the ladies. It makes sense, but we'll see as we go on into the thing. I love Nonku's fit. I wish we could have really seen her get up. It's very, very sexy. Like, she's in black, she's wearing stockings and a blazer with like gold buttons. Very sexy. I love it. Slee looks so fresh and pretty here. So, oh, Slee's a gorgeous woman. Guys, it's in a crush. Like, wow. Anyway, they're sitting down, they're having wine, they're having a chat, and then Bali wasn't at the party that Nonku had for her celibacy, so she didn't meet Oscara. And then they're talking about Oscara and load shedding. They're talking about Oscara and it's fun times, it's girl times, you know. The relationship is new, so we're all just thinking it's whatever, right? So Slee then asks her, are you looking to commit? And she's like, she's already committed. That's the first red flag. How are you committed what do you know about this person for you to say you are committed in 2 months? And what chat did you guys really have to establish that we're now exclusive and committed? Anyway, I think that's the first thing that made Slee go a little bit, okay, why are we moving like this? Then Nonku said, we actually want to introduce our kids to each other, but I also want to meet his kids and I want him to meet mine. And the ladies are like, whoa, isn't it a bit too early? Which at this point, somebody tries to confirm, how long have y'all been at this? And she's like, 2 months. She's like, yeah, slow down a little bit, whatever. And she's like, no, she's prayed about this in her confessional and she feels like they need to, like, no sense of anything, sense of nothing. How are your kids meeting? What do you know about this person? Right? So Slee tries to explain. Slee, who left her kids behind to go be with her man, explains to Thingaki that you need to have watched this person long enough around his children, seen how he behaves, how he disciplines his kids, so that when you merge your families and you blend them, it'll put you at ease when he's trying to be a father to your children, how he disciplines them. You realize that, oh, this is just his style of parenting and it's not that he's possibly picking on your kids or something like that. But before you do something like that, now when he's trying to discipline your kids or something of that nature, and maybe you feel like he's being too harsh, you're going to feel like he's doing it to your kids because you have not observed him parent his own kids. So they're just trying to make her see reason, but Nonku's like head over heels. Like Nonku's not seeing this. Like, reason for who? Reason for who? I'm Nonku. Like, hell no. Maria meets up with Sane at a spa. I don't know why Sane is always so stank about her interactions with the ladies in all her confessionals. Don't go if you don't want to go. Like, whatever. They meet up, and in this whole scene, Maria, who's new to the group, is basically trying to let her know that, you know what, your entrance into this group, you're not having the softest of landings, and maybe it's your approach, you know. And she says in the confessionals, I'm trying to let her know that these ladies are not taking to her, and she's just not getting it. Sane then says at some point, I made an exact note of what she said because I thought it was stupid. When you think highly of yourself, you tend to say dumb shit like this. Or she says, oh, and Maria says to her, when you show up at events, people leave. When this happens, and if that happened to me, I would exit a group of, the group of friends completely. Which Sane responds, I won't leave the group because no one has the power to face you. There is power in walking away. Right? Giving you nothing. Because you're the kind of person who feeds off the interaction. Sarisha gave you nothing to work with. And how you're set up, you want that back and forth with her. Right? The so-called, that's where you're powerful. Because you foam at the mouth like that. So when somebody just removes themselves and stuff, that's power. That's somebody knowing their worth and knowing that you aren't worth engaging. And so they're just going to remove themselves here. Power isn't always what we think it is. You aren't worth facing. You're not worth their time. They're not trying to get to know you because you bring no value to them. So avoiding you altogether is a power move. Not filming with you will ice you out of the group. Ergo, power. Do you understand? Probably not. Okay, Slee meets up with Jojo. Oh yes, Slee meets up with Jojo for them to try to hash out whatever difference they have. She's trying to be like all fake nice, like, oh, I see we're still not cool. Because, like, Slee arrives there not trying to exchange any pleasantries or anything. Just get to the point and stuff. And she's still talking about, oh, your shades are nice as a girl. I'm not trying to be like, oh, with you. People, you don't have an audience now, right, Jojo? You have no people to watch you, so you can't bark up at her and be all rah-rah in her fucking face. Now you're trying to be like Miss Nice because nobody is here to watch and pull you back from getting your ass fucking drugged. Okay, they sit down, they try to hash it out. Slee's like, I did not say to your husband, I'm not even attracted to white men. I prefer to date African men. I wouldn't ask your husband to set me up because I would just assume he's gonna pull from his pool, and that's people who look like him, and that's not usually what I go for. To which she says that she did ask Calvin, if that's her husband, if he did say, is it in the scene where she says, Yala, I went off and this thing had stopped recording. Guys, this is my worst fear, because I was on a roll. Ugh. I was at the part where I was talking about Slee meeting up with Jojo to have a chat, and where Slee's explaining that she's prefers to date African men. She would not have asked Calvin to set her up. I'm okay. Would not have asked Calvin to set her up and stuff. And at exactly this point, I start thinking about the slew of married women, and this is outside of Jojo now, right? Your husbands lie to you every day. Every day. They tell you little lies and big lies. Lies that aren't necessarily, they could have otherwise told you the truth. And you know they're liars. The one time they tell you a lie that's convenient for you, that's the time you decide they're such truthful people. So Slee's character has to come into question because your husband, that's beyond reproach and you deified, can't be questioned, right? It's not possible that Calvin misheard or is just fucking lying. That's not possible. It's not, no way. So the only thing has to be that Slee. What if Booba Booba is lying? Honestly, like, why is that not a viable thing, right? It can only be that Slee's lying. And let me tell you something. I'm the type of person, if you ever came to me and told me that your husband, we're gonna have to wait for your husband to get here so I can confront him, you're not lying on me. And because you are so in love with him, it makes him a non-liar. I think not. I think not. And Slee then goes on to explain to Jojo that when I get nervous, I start laughing. I've got a nervous laugh, and when that happens, I would usually resort to violence. And to that I have to say, grow the fuck up, Slee, and learn to regulate your emotions like a grown woman. And I understand that leaving scene is one way to regulate your emotions, but to me that's just running away from it. You need to get to a point where you can just see it through, because she's an antagonist, this Jojo. Jojo doesn't have an audience here, and look how calm she is. Look how set back she is. There's no buffer. There's no go-between. There isn't Nonku in between to keep her from getting her ass beat. At the event at Sarisha's, she was all up in Slee's face, right? Pointing. And Slee makes her aware, you were doing this and you're in my purse. And then she's like, you two, they run the footages. They run the footages back. Nobody was in your face, lady. Nobody. Nobody's in your face. You, on the other hand, you were there in your chihuahua-ness. Rah, rah, rah. Standing up, tiny as you are, trying to tower this woman who could flick you, right? And she's tacky, Jojo, but she's white, so we don't want to label it tacky, but she is. She behaves very much like all the new money bitches that we know who happen to be black. Jojo is an antagonist because she is now married to a man with means. Says in her confessional, because Jojo said to her, I would resort to like throwing hands, like in any scenario, so that's why I excused myself. She says, yeah, I have lawyers and lots of money, so that would not have gone well. You're gonna mess with the wrong one, mama. You really are. You and your lawyers are gonna mess with the wrong one. You do not do that. You do not violate people's personal space like that, and then think you can also dictate how they're gonna respond. We're not the same. We're not. That Nonku that was in between, somebody's gonna push her aside and get to you, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's not. You don't do that. And nobody was in your face. The next scene we see Maria and her son. I hate the scene. I hate it so much. I feel like Maria wants to be Jenny D from Top Billing, and Top Billing is not even on air anymore, so I don't know what the fuck she was trying to audition for here. I hate the scene so very much.
it's not entertaining, it's not compelling, and those are the two things that television is supposed to be. I'm not moved, I'm not engaged, I'm not like, what is this? I'm waiting for it to pass because I'm annoyed. Production. What I'm understanding here is that maybe her husband doesn't want to film, right? But we still, it's her introduction season, so we still need to learn about her home life. You guys, have you noticed that Jojo doesn't have a storyline? Her storyline is beefing with Slee and instigating beefs between Slee and Nonku. Jojo has nothing to add this season, and it's only her second season. I actually thought she was going to take us through her plastic surgery journey. So I was surprised that they had not started filming, that on the first episode she had already done her tummy tuck. I was like, oh, okay, that's not part of the storyline. What is the story? That's why she's so invested in keeping the mess up with Slee, because she has nothing to give. She has nothing to offer us this season. Maria, I don't want to see you and your son going on ice skating dates. Production, stop showing me these two people together. Okay, thanks. We see Sarisha and she meets up with Slee. I'm so mad it stopped recording because I had done this segment already. My coffee's cold. Sarisha meets up with Slee so they can just figure out what had happened at Sarisha's event, where our little resident chihuahua was barking at her and, you know, the bestie was in between. And so she explains that, no, I asked Sane if she's catering the event. I wasn't aware that calling her a caterer is a swear word. To where Jojo inserted herself into the mess and it just got blown out of proportion, and she started saying I was also coming onto her man and whatever. Because Sarisha wasn't around the group when everything was happening and stuff. And then they also exchanged some stuff about their respective cultures and stuff. Now, this is a very important part. If you know anybody who may know somebody who works for or knows or something Sarisha, okay, please just send this bit to her. Sarisha is Hindu. They tie a red string. She explains the string because Slee's like to her, oh, I tie this, and my kids call it my safety belt. My spiritual guide calls it my GPS, and I've seen that you tie a red one. What does yours mean? What's it for? And then she explains that in the Hindu culture, it's something we do yearly, and it's something to help you. It's because they have deities and things that's part of their culture. And it's for a particular goddess. I forgot who she said. And it's for prosperity and wealth, I think. I want the one you cut off last year. See, I'm not even greedy. I don't want the new one, Sarisha. I want the residual benefits of what you had last year, because I know you had a good year regardless, right? Just mail me. I'll send you my P.O. box. Just send me your string from last year. I want to see something. Okay, thank you, Miss Sarisha. And I love this. I always love, I guess this is the part of our little Rainbow Nation that's always worked. I find we can be rather very open and willing to learn about other people's cultures. It's a beautiful thing about us, because there's so many of us and so many different cultures in this country, that being open to learn about other people's things comes almost as a default, because you know you want the same room created for you and your ways of life. So I loved this exchange where nobody's trying to put anybody else's culture down or persuade you to come over to this side. Those are usually chats that happens with the Christians and the Africanists, like, oh my God, my ancestors, and then like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, the blood of, it sounds like witchcraft. Anyway, we move on. We are attending Annie's what does she call it? Drift Queens event. And they go over to this dealership or whatever it is, and they load them up in some Range Rovers, I think. And then Maria, obviously, like she did in the first episode, letting us know how she's been on a horse and carriage, darling. This is what I do every day. I do that. lets us know that everybody's so excited to go into these. I drive it every day. Listen, lady, do you drive it in this terrain? Because it's not about people like getting excited to drive a Range Rover on tar road. A lot of these women drive these cars. What the fuck are you talking about? They're excited for the experience to go and experience like the full strength of this vehicle in a different terrain where it was built to actually ride and really push it to, it's like, she's always trying to let us know that she has nice things. We get it. We get it. Do you know why we like Sarisha? Because she doesn't do this. That's why we like Sarisha. Hey, so girl, send me the string, babe. Okay. They go on the little dirt bike. Not me calling them dirt bikes. Yo, they're gonna cry. They go on their dirt roads and stuff, and they're doing like, moves, and it's really nice. It's really cool. It feels like, an exhilarating experience. Then after they all done with that, they all sit down for a chat, and they having snacks, and they sitting down for drinks now around a couch and shoot. That bitch can take pictures on any other day. Annie makes it clear that she did extend an invitation to Nonku, but Nonku didn't come. Jojo makes an excuse for her that she's at a photo shoot. I feel like Nonku can take pictures any other day, but okay, whatever. Like, whatever. When you're filming. You don't just accidentally book a photo shoot on the day that you're filming. Be real. Like, stand in your shit. I'm not trying to be around Annie right now, so I'm not going. Period. And then Slee's like, how come when everybody's asking where's Nonku, they look at me? And then she's like, but I'm not her keeper. Why would you guys look at me like that? Like, I wouldn't know where she is. But those of you who actually got to meet her, he's now her significant other, I guess. We got to meet her man at her party, at her, I keep trying to call it a celibacy party, and it's really not. At her, it is, okay, I thought I was saying sobriety, I'm saying celibacy. And then everybody's like, oh, what did you think of him? You guys, Maria in her confessionals, when Skara showed up to the the event that they had earlier on, called him the Tinder swindler, and then said, but he doesn't look like, so something is off about him. Same Maria in the scene says, oh, he was swooning over her, just lies, like, oh, doting over her, and she's so in love and giddy, when you like all that whimsical feel, when you're newly in love. Why are you lying? You also feel like something is amiss here. And then Jojo, I don't want friends like Jojo, by the way. Don't want them. Jojo says, do you see? Mbali's in the scene and she disappears. She disappears into the scene. It's a larger group of girls. She has a difficult time finding her footing and engaging with the larger group of ladies. I forgot she was in the scene, but she is. And then Slee just mentions that, you know what? I'm going to support my friend when she's going through this. And she did make mention of her reservations when it was just her and Bali, that, you know what? Proceed with caution, this, that, and the other. And she pretty much lets the ladies know as well that, you know what? She's happy right now. I'm going to support her. And if it ever gets to a point where she's not happy, I'll still be there for her. And then Miss I've got comprehension problems with pigtails in the corner there is hearing something else that wasn't being said. But we move, right? Yeah. Jojo and Nonku meet up for a wine tasting. And then the wine person, I'm not going to call him Mr. Malia because I don't know what he is, was probably mispronouncing something. It doesn't matter. He's an African man. English isn't like his first language. I don't care. I don't care when we as black people don't get like white people shit right. They don't give a shit about immersing themselves in anything we do. I don't care that he didn't say cork with an R, like he said what, like, Jojo is praised though, but I don't care. And then they go into this chat where Jojo, ever the instigator, I hope when Nonku looks back on this, she really starts to realize that Jojo is not trying to be supportive of her other relationships.
because her and Slee are clearly trying to rebuild their friendship here. I feel like Slee's been honest with her about where she really stands with her new man. So it's not like it should be news to Nonku that Slee has reservations. And like it shouldn't be, because you had a meetup with her Limbali, so you know how she feels. Anyway, she explains to her that, oh, when at the event that you weren't at that Annie had for us, she basically said that she'll be happy for you until you're not happy. Bitch, what? What in the hell kind of selective dumb shit is this? Like, why are you so less than smart? I mean, are you less than smart, or are you just an instigator? Like, how is that even what she heard? And then to which Nonku's like, yeah, I've been having dreams, so I'm not sure if she has my back in my absence. I feel like she's like a rat, you know, like she'll nibble on you while like trying to make you feel better at the same time, and then coming back to like nibble off another chunk. And I just don't trust her energy, and I feel like they then arranged to meet up with her later on. And then we have a scene with Mbali and her significant other. Mbali mentioned in the scene she had with Slee and Nonku that her significant other is an artist. I was wondering why he looked so familiar. He's significantly younger than her, and he's an artist, so I suppose she's like, from what it looked, the work is compelling. I went to look up his work because it's like, why does this man look familiar? But you know, art is art. I don't know how much he sells, how often he sells. Creating art is a process. You may sell this beautiful piece today and then not sell a couple more pieces for a couple of years. So she's essentially like taken in somebody to take care of. I never like it when older women date younger men who don't bring much to the table financially, and you essentially end up having to take care of them. And she had said in that scene that she has told him time and time again that like she does not like hunger, and she's worried about his career and stuff and blah. But you are planning to have a child with this person, because in the scene we see you saying that you want to try to have a kid again. They said you still have one tube left, so you could try, but you're really interested in sorting out. And Buddy lets us know that she has a strained relationship with her mom, and it is something to do with her paternity. Like her mom didn't want to get into why or who her father is, and she just shuts down when she tries to broach the conversation about her father and stuff. Some of you need to understand that how you came about may have been traumatic for your parents, and find other ways. I know it's hard. Find other ways to get those answers you need without making your mom relive the trauma of how you came about. Do you understand what I'm saying though? A lot of your dads are bullshit. A lot of your dads are no good. And you think you're missing something. And maybe I don't get it because I know who my father is, and fine, I'll never understand. But a person who's never tried to get to know you isn't somebody that you need to drop your life for and fuck up your dynamic with your mom to try and get to know them when you're the child. The onus is on them as their parent to reach out to you. I think she said he's deceased now. And she wants to sort out a relationship with her mom before she embarks on this journey of trying to conceive again with this much younger artist boyfriend whose career she's not certain about. It's like you're talking on both sides. You understand? It's like you're worried about his career, you want to have a baby with him, but you are not a fan of being hungry, but you want to have a baby with him. Girl, if you do not get so to set you up with one of Vivian's friends, I don't know. Mbali and her younger man. Okay, I just did that. Slee meets up with, this is our last scene. Slee meets up with, it's gonna stop recording. I'm on you, bitch. Alright, Shella. So Slee meets up with these people and you know, Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Meets up with Nonku and Jojo, and this is where Jojo actually says that she asked her husband. It's in the other scene that Slee had said to her, no, I was responding to him asking if I'm married to anybody here, because they'd met at an event, at a party at Nonku's or something. And on introduction, Kevin was like, oh, are you somebody's wife here? According to Slee. And Slee was like, no, I'm not married, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Calvin would never do that.
Calvin would never do that. What a saint, Calvin saint. Saint Calvin. And so this is Jojo starts by saying, no, I did ask him that, and he says he didn't ask you that. So now I'm like, are you lying? And I'm like, is Calvin lying? Is Calvin lying? Are you lying about what Calvin has said? Because we've never, I want to hear Calvin say that's not what happened and she's lying. And even then I'll be like, is Calvin lying? Sorry. Why does it have to be that Slee's the one lying? I'm not married to Calvin, so I now need to ask, is Calvin lying? You must believe him. He's your husband. You must believe that he's not trying to lie to you, but good luck selling that to me. And then she says her little bit. Slee turns to Nonku and says, what's your grievance? And then she says that, oh, I'm hearing talks that you are walking around saying that you're good for me because you're going to keep me grounded. Girl, can nothing keep you grounded? You are just floating in the air, just gone with the wind. Gone with the wind, that's you. To which then Slee replies, those weren't my words, and you're trying to make them my words. Those are Sarisha's words. Right? That's done. So now, like I said, Nonku needs to find the next thing. Yeah, and what do you say about my man? She's like, what do you mean? What would I say about your man? That's your man to deal with. You wake up with him, you sleep with him. What would I say about him? And then Jojo, guys, Jojo's body language in the scene, Ever the instigator, she's sitting back, little bit of a smirk on her face, like she's not managed to manipulate this Nonku exactly how she wants, and she's watching them go at it, and she's like, yeah, pretty much unfolding exactly how I planned. Look at them not get along. Check for her. Check for her. She's not even mad. She has no real grievance of her own with Slee at this point. She doesn't even care. She's so calm when she talks about, yeah, ask Calvin, and then he said he didn't say that. So now I'm like, are you lying? But the moment Nonku starts to address her problems, she's interjecting and adding, yeah, no, but you did say that you will be happy for her until she's not, right? Admit it, you said it. And then she's just like, no, friend, like, Mgani, I said that as long as you're happy, I'm happy for you. So, and that's exactly what she said. Guys, Jojo's dangerous. That unassuming, I'm so quirky, I'm just so, ooh, tatted up bitch, hey girl. That unassuming thing, lethal. Lethal. You watch your back. And then she's like, I'm not interested in a friendship with you if we're going to keep doing this back and forth. This is Slee to Nonku. And then her, Jojo, adding herself, right? This is nothing to do with her. Jojo, oh, you're throwing her away so easily. Because Nonku would not arrive there in real time. She's a bit delayed. She'd not arrive there in real time. So she needs to be the battery in her back. Like, egging her on. Like, come on, friend. Come with me on this trip. You know? So like, she's like, but why should I continue to fight for this relationship when we keep doing this back and forth and whatever? For what reason? And she excuses herself and she says, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to keep. It's funny when they came into the scene, Nonku said in her confessional that she's willing to give her friendship with Slee one last chance. Slee does not smack for your friendship like that since that introduction with Sarisha. She clocked you for the whole switch up shit that you do, and she's been wary of you. So you thinking you're giving her a chance, meantime you've been on like second strike with her, and this was the third, and she's out and she's done. She's so hot. Anyway, that's it. That's what happened. Mwah. Bye.